Dr. Victor, you are welcome. Chief Dr. Alexander, you are welcome. His Royal Majesty, Igwe Lord, you are welcome. Senator Ohazuwa, you are welcome. And the Chief Deputy, Senator John Mbata, you are welcome. All 42 and Alara check the tranquility of Indian Park complex and marveled at the open waterfall and advocate. Have you ever wandered through the pine forest, caves and waterfalls of the world? Every step is a story waiting to be written, and every moment a cherished memory. I hope I have convinced you and not confused you that ENUGU is the giant of the South, Nigeria. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
DJ Harris, kill the beat. Big day, short no I need to get one for do it. Please, you can encourage her more to join them together for her. Chimamanda, can have a handshake with the chairman. Wow, that can name with on a look people. That can name with.
No, they use this one. Only this one.
Follow Chimamanda that he can.
With the record they give and when they
if you want to
with the record they give.
Thank you. The boldness, the courage for something else. Nobody is your man. The next 10 years, I wonder what should be what. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the few governors who is doing exceedingly well is the governor of Abia State. But I think, yes, we can clap for him. I think, if a governor is performing well, we simply means he's strategically partnering with people who play major role in the micro and macro economy. That is why one of those men is here in our midst. The brain behind the ENUGU economic system, a multi-billion-dollar investment that tries in the city of Aba. That man is Chief Dar also managing director of ENUGU economic city. Please put your hands together for him. ENUGU is reputable for cultural heritage. ENUGU is known for the popular Ogene music. In fact, Ogene music originated from ENUGU. Any other part of the East that plays Ogene music has it as an important genre of music. Aside Ogene, there are other cultural groups who are representing and projecting the cultural heritage of Igbo nation. One of them is Adanda cultural group, representing the ENUGU state government. So we call them officially the ENUGU state cultural group. Ladies and gentlemen, let's sit, relax, and have a taste of what this culture is all about. Just 10 minutes, let them entertain us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you love your culture, you love our culture, put your hands together for them once more. This is not the last appearance. That's going to come back again. I want you to know that this summit is a 3-day event. So do not be in a hurry to go if you are not from ENUGU. After this session in the night, there's going to be a grand business dinner, which will be chaired by the chairman, Atlas Rental Oil and Gas, the Prince of Africa, Engineer Prince Arthur Ezenugo at Oranto Hotel, very close to the airport. That is for this night. And I want you to know that the governor has done so well to provide maximum security in the city of ENUGU, even though nowhere is 100% safe, not even in the city of New York, where we have a president who wants to volunteer to assist the country in the fight against insurgency. Ladies and gentlemen, ENUGU is secure because the governor built a multi-faceted command and control center where anywhere within the territory of Enugu State, the security apparatus speaks everything that wants to happen as a danger and tackle it head on. Ladies and gentlemen, while the performance was going on, some learned gentlemen walked in. One of them is the National Deputy President General of Ohanese Ndigbo worldwide. He is a proud son of Abia State. He is a proud son of Igbo land, intellectually embedded. a technocrat, and a man of immense capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, Chief Dr. Okay, Wadinobi. Also, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday he flew in from the United Kingdom, London to be precise. The man who has also propagated the interests of Ndigo in the entire world, Ambassador Joseph Ayalogo. He lives in London and he looks like a Briton. So put your hands together for him. Welcome, sir. You will never get us. I saw you going to the one people. I am mistaken in what to No. Ladies and gentlemen, this event, as I told you before, is multifaceted. But for now, the President General of ENUGU was here. I've had interface with the Deputy President General. They told me that the PG went to the office of ENUGU because ENUGU is when the Secretariat of ENUGU is cited. So he will soon join us. And we have special greetings from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who is also interested in service. That is why the Executive Secretary of Service has made sure in a few minutes from now, the Executive Secretary will also be preparing to make his remark. If you are just joining us, the chairman of this summit, the former presidential aspirant, Federal Republic of Nigeria, one of the most respected Igbo men in the entire world, and chairman of the Council of Igbo Business Leaders, distinguished patriots, Sam Owawa is here with us. Thank you, sir. We do proper establishment of protocols once His Excellency arrives. And let me also inform you that Obi of Onitsha is the chairman, Service Life Patron, Hall of Fame. He's also supposed to be here either today or at the dinner or for tomorrow's session. All I'm sure of is that he's going to be with us. Let me also inform you that we have some keynote speakers. One of them is Professor Ken Ife, the renowned professor who has made back the economic war. Another person is Ambassador, God knows, Igala. We also have Bashiru Adewale Adeni MFR, who is going to be speaking with us. As I told you before, we have different sessions. While the chairman of the summit is already here, let me inform us that we have 4 chairmen of 4 different sessions. Today, in the night, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. One of them is Dr. Sam Amadi, the Executive Director, Abuja School of Political Thought, former Chairman, Nigerian Regulatory Power Commission. We also have, as I said before, Ambassador Joseph Ayalogo. We also have former Minister of Power, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Chinedu, CEO and today, coincidentally, is an Abuja Business Summit. and Chineke is propelling that. So if he's not here today, he's going to join us in the night for tomorrow. We also have renowned professor of economics, Professor Osita Ogo, as the chairman of a particular session. And we have some speakers. Dr. Omar Kalu Medika Professor Olusegun Debo Shemeson, Prince Oji Opa, General Obi Umar, retired. That is the elder brother, the Honorable Minister of Works, David Weze Umar. And I'm told some persons are going to be honored by the list I'm seeing two are former presidents of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Distinguished Senator Ken Amani, GCON, distinguished Senator Michael Pius, and two different things about it. That Michael Pius, who is very tall and dark in complexion, but is not a GCON. Ken Amani is fair complexion, but is a GCON. Coincidentally, the two of them are former presidents of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with no threat of impeachment. We also have former governor of ENUGU State. If you say old and president, might be correct. His Excellency Dr. Kwesileze Modu. Dr. Kwesileze Modu's father used to be minister in the whole Eastern region. Dr. Kwesileze Modu's elder brother was Joe Modu, who almost became governor, but due to what destiny had for him, he couldn't. Dr. Kwesileze Modu's younger brother is the former PG of Ohio Assembly, former Minister of Aviation, former Minister of Information, former Executive President of the University of Ibadan, as far back as 1958, according to story. We also have distinguished General Ike Nwachukwu, another highly respected Igbo son. Then members Hall of Fame who are also permanent members. The chairman, Chekasin, one of the richest men in Africa, Chief Chika Okafo, is also here. We also have the chairman, Neyemba Maker City, Dr. Da Uzo. We also have a man who came in as the big chief of Ohadize League. When we lost His Excellency, Chief Sir Emmanuel Waya. I'm talking about Chief Ozi Chukwu. Was the one who conducted a peaceful election that ushered in Senator Dr. John Matak and Okenwani as President General and Deputy President General. We also have Professor Bill Fokwo, the chairman of United Africa. You will agree with me that the people are doing well in business, especially the aviation industry. And today, I will appeal to the Igbo leaders who are here on a very important note to tell two of our brothers who are leading the aviation sector, Epic Allen and Obioro Kombo, United Brothers, to please try and subsidize the air fee, especially during the Christmas period. Because our travel far and wide, not just in Nigeria, but beyond the shores of Africa, but within Nigeria in that context, from Abuja to Maiduguri by land is about 12 hours. From Abuja to Enugu, by that is about 5 to 6 hours. Ironically, if you want to fly from Abuja to Enugu, it's almost 200,000. But if you want to fly from Abuja to Maiduguri, it's about 90 to 100,000. What is the problem? Is it that we have more customers than those traveling in the north? Or the Igbo brothers have more money to spend? Now, if you change flight from Lagos to Enugu from 13th of December to 34th, it's 318,000. Not a return ticket, just coming. And you ask yourself, what is happening? Why can't we understand that he who plays the viper should be able to dance the tune accordingly? So our elders who are here, I'm not just talking as a master of ceremony, I'm talking as a former president of the student union government. And I'm talking as a former former governor of culture and tourism. And I'm talking as the convener of the national debate in Abuja 2022. I'm also talking as a young business guy who is doing well in what he does. Not just as an MC, but the super stakeholder in this region called Igbo. If we don't discuss this, then the discussion is incomplete. Let us discuss this and talk to our brothers and know why we pay almost $500,000 to travel from Lagos to in the flight owned by our brothers. I stand to be corrected because I don't have any points. Our elders, thank you so much. Be gentle.
News is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Please keep standing while we go for the national anthem. DJ. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle, honor and victory come as gain. Through life, through our children, a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. You may be seated. Please, we have to maintain absolute silence at this point in time. May I formally welcome the presence of the most eloquent deputy governor in Nigeria, renowned lawyer who succeeded as a legal luminary before venturing into politics. Very calm, very intelligent, very coordinated, very honest, and very disciplined. Enugu State has a governor as a lawyer and a governor as a deputy, a lawyer as a deputy governor. And that is why whatever happens in Enugu is legally done. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, Barrister Fine Osai, put your hands together for him once more. When he speaks, you will understand what I'm talking about. Your Excellency, sir, thank you for what you're doing. We're using you as a point of contact to the government. For over a decade, I've been in ENUGU. The facility called International Conference Center was once moribund. But in the space of 2 years, we have International Conference Center, we have International Hotel, we have for the first time the annual General Conference by the Nigerian Bar Association that drew in over 10,000 lawyers, both those who are called to bar and those who are called to bench, at this event. Courtesy of the leadership of Enugu State. Please appreciate the government of Enugu State. It's not the Your Excellency, sir, the Southeast Business Summit, it's not about crowd, but about personalities with intellectual capacity who are gathered here today to discuss the way forward of the Igbo nation. If you check your phone and you type the most intelligent tribe in Africa, they will tell you Igbo tribe. If you type the most richest tribe in Africa, it will give you Igbo tribe. Now the question is, what is happening in Southeast? What is happening in Igbo land? That is one of the reasons we are gathered here today to discuss the way forward. Some weeks ago, Enugu State government, in partnership with ECOWAS, had an event on this podium, propelled by the Minister of Foreign Affairs State. Her Excellency Ambassador Mrs. ENUGU. So many issues were raised, so many issues were discussed. But I think for this, we have more personalities in the world. We have those who are captains of industry. We have those who are technocrats. We have personalities in the politics, in all spheres of life. And that is why the chairman of this summit is a distinguished Nigerian and is heading the business arm of Ohanes and ENUGU worldwide. A former presidential aspirant under the People's Democratic Party. If you follow that primary, I am sure you know that he got some vote, even though he didn't share money to any person. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished patron, son, appreciate it. Your Excellency, sir, permit me to recognize a senior citizen of Enugu State, of Igbo land, of Nigeria. The man who led me to see the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, when I organized the national debate at the Ladi Palico Sheraton Hotel Abuja 2022. I'm talking about a former governor, a former national party chairman, a former national party secretary, a man who propelled for the emancipation of Igbo leadership, His Excellency, Chief Doctor Okwesile Zemolo. Your Excellency, let me also inform you that we have in our midst the Deputy President General of Ohanes and ENUGU has occupied several political positions. He's the proud son of Abia State, God's own state, a very calm and intellectually learning man. I'm talking about His Excellency Ambassador Oke Wadinobi. Please appreciate it. Let me also establish the protocol in the business industry. An Igbo man who is making us proud in oil and gas sector, real estate, insurance, Bureau de change, and so many other business sectors. It has OFR, CON, MFR, Chairman Chikasi of Companies Limited, Chief Okafor. Another elder statesman who has been very keen for the welfare of the people. Throughout my closeness with Iwaya, John Bionzo, Chubu, who were past presidents of organizations, this man has always been a point of contact. He's the chairman, former chairman, Police Service Commission. The time the delegation of Fundi visited Mazinam in Abuja, I was the only Igbo invited by then Iwaya to join. This man made a historic statement, and even myself as a young Igbo man who is a truth covered away from Nigeria and from Asia. Put it in my mind, and I always make reference to that. Chief Dr. Simon Okeke, please appreciate it. No. Your Excellency, our royal father, former ambassador of United Nations, former ambassador of Commonwealth Organization, he has held several political posts even before the Gen Zs were born. Former chairman, staff from traditional rulers, ENUGU State South, Yolo of Olo, His Excellency Ambassador, Igwe Lawrence Agobo. Seated beside him is one of the chairmen of the section of this epic making event. Sani Boman, what he looks like someone from the Buckingham Palace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Dr. Ayalo. The Minister and Chancellor of the Chancery of High Commission of the Republic of Sierra Leone in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is coming to the Southeast for the first time. And he told me he feels so happy and so secure. Honorable Minister, please appreciate it. Chairman of any mega settlement, who is working in hand with the governor of Abia State to make sure that roads are not done through the computer but on physical notice. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Da is over. Then on the end is the elder brother of the former governor of Ogun State, current Minister of Works, a general who laid foundation for his family according to history. He looks so simple, or he was a five-star general in the army. He's still a general because a general is always a general. Ladies and gentlemen, will be for mine. While we keep a time recognition of support, I want to invite the Executive Secretary, Southeast Business Summit. They have done this event before. This is the second edition, and I tell you, assemble men of timber and caliber of this sort. Also, invite the governor, being represented by the deputy governor. I think he deserves some action when it comes to his speech. The proud English, he is tall, and his brain is as tall as his height. Join me to welcome Mr. Ife. Onoko Banaka. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter, the received them here every represented by the Deputy Governor. The Chairman of the occasion, Ondia Bad Sam, who are founder, Chairman of so many, including Nigerian Economic Summit Group, from a civil society of Nigeria, Federal Association of Nigeria, and now incoming Chairman of Southeast Business and Investment Summit. Royal Majesty, Excellency, Ambassador Lawrence, my boss, Excellency, Dr. President Demol, he taught me how to work hard. Remember when he was the National Secretary of the never sleeps, wasn't sleeping. That's when I learned that you can work 24 hours. Work looking at it from a distance. You can work 24 hours and you're strong. My own father, I met the church is 90. You know what is that? Celebrating January 7 when you got 90. I know all of us will got the beach. The beach in this of Spain and put down. And we always host dignitaries from far and wide to the birthday of the chairman of the planning committee of this 90th birthday is Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo. Coming by me as president. I highly regard divide the afternoon also when it comes to money and business. Dr. Chief Alexander Chika Chikasi. Excellency, the Minister Council Sierra Leone, you're welcome. President General, I thought President General of SNU was here. I hope Deputy President, I hope he didn't hand over to you by him. So, we're still expecting him. Let me stand an existing protocol. Mine is to welcome everybody, all of you, to this Southeast Business and Investment Summit. The opening ceremony of Cities 2.0, which is starting today, is a 3-day event. So on behalf of the Southeast Business and Investment Summit Group, I welcome you to the second annual Southeast Business and Investment Summit, starting today at the regional Southeast capital of ENUGU, Enugu State. The Southeast Business and Investment Summit is the foremost annual platform dedicated to repositioning the Southeast of Nigeria as a hub for business, investment, and innovation. It is a flagship economic platform for unifying business leaders, government, stakeholders, traditional institutions, investors, and diaspora community under one mission: the economic transformation of the South through collaboration, innovation, and strategic investment. The medical edition, Service 1.0 in 2024, attracted over 1,000 delegates and was chaired by our highly revered review of furniture, Abogi, Igwe Alfred Ashabe, CFR MNI. It attracted top business leaders from across the world, including the international business partners, members of diplomatic missions, federal and state government leaders, international and diaspora investors, and top business leaders to establish cities as the premier convergence point for changing the future of the Southeast economy. The Summit 2.0 has become a landmark event as it is bringing together key stakeholders from across the region to showcase prepared bankable projects, facilitate investment deals and forge partnerships, with a focus on unlocking investment opportunities. Service 2025 is providing a platform for investors, financial institutions, and project proponents to connect, collaborate, and drive economic growth in the southeast of Nigeria. Our core objectives in this program, starting today, are to showcase bankable projects prepared by our project development committee and by other stakeholders to investors, financial institutions, and financial institutions and the other development agencies for consideration. Facilitate investment deals by connecting investors to project proponents and facilitate joint venture partners to drive investors to service. But it's also to highlight the state service potentials and opportunities for growth and investment, giving reasonable benchmarks and realistic timeline for action. The key features of this summit is to flag up the current MSME entrepreneurship program with a strong focus on women and empowerment of all parts. We are going to present 1.5 trillion in bankable projects, bankable investment-ready projects across infrastructure, agriculture, energy, logistics, fintech, sports, security, and executive economy. We are going to launch a Service 2025 documentary and economic impact report. Inaugurate the live platform called Famous Service and the top service permanent and live service. Establish Southeast Nigeria annual eminent business award at the annual Grand Business Award. Your Excellencies, let me inform you, prior to today's summit, we embarked on a 7-city roadshow town. This was a summit engagement designed to build momentum towards today's summit. The 7 cities of which started in Abuja went through the spiral south states and ended in Lagos. The summit meeting in all these key cities were massively attended by top people stakeholders and investors. And the people's partnership inspired participation and enforced our shared vision, ensuring our link as a powerful hub for business, innovation, and sustainable transformation. Your Excellencies, let it be seen. I wish that this summit will define the economic future of our country and inspire the world with the enduring spirit of the service and indeed our people. I've through the rigors of this presentation, preparation for this summit, and the realities of today's Nigeria are realizing that no one can else will build our future. We need to build strong values. We need to build strong institutions and strong citizens so that the base for Nigeria will and shall come from scientists. We can do it. It's possible. Great because of our nation, we must arise from this summit with a resolve to regain our status as the biggest production hub and market in West Africa. We are no longer what we need. We will arrive at this summit with determination to build across domestic product and GDP, which is currently at near 20.04 trillion. So let us and which is about 1.8 trillion. 1.8. That's 20.04 billion, about $1.88 billion dollars. We want to build it to a $100 billion economy. A $100 trillion economy by 2030. We want to ensure that the diaspora and foreign investment in the Southeast oscillates around that. You know, one of the greatest revenue diaspora remittances. The greater number of those remittances unfortunately, those remittances go to other parts of the country. For what ENUGU State and it is some other governments are doing, we assure you that going forward in the next 5 years, most of those remittances we want to reduce unemployment rate for a foreign aggregate of 18%, some of the years to around 5%. Why do we want to reduce? We believe that with the private sector investment partners, we will raise the amount of investing in more. We look at financial commercial, look at enabling industrial. We will look at ENUGU upcoming take-up, which is a very big one. We look at Owerri and people tourism. But now we take this and you start generating resources and employment. Nobody will be looking for job again. I've recently spoke to the ENUGU take-up. The School of Trade Intelligence. These are young boys who ordinarily became employment in the state. Now have no thanks to the parents, but they are not started here. So we must build it. We must do the same thing in our back. Where the MSME off, the same thing in those kinds of talk about commercial we need to, as a matter of fact, reduce crime. So when this talk actually takes place during the private sector, insecurity will drastically reduce because of new and independent private sector, which what state is actually. I would say the meeting of business matters. We are not here to share money. I think stop questions. But talk out partners and government markets. This is service. We must be able at the end of this summit, assuring and convincing ourselves as individuals and groups that partnering with our government have this become we can immensely a gift to start this particular one. And you will not have this. I will pray that you hear and have you do this in time. So somebody like me, so that we take it. He has indeed done it a complaint. You know what that means? Before, if you don't believe, service now you did investigation. So we thank you for this. We always thank other state governments for their commitment. We went to the summit meetings, all these services, and we found that for all the states, wonderful people, so we organize, prepare intentional, actionable private sector. What other would the government will go back? But the President General, Senator Astam, people thanking you for your marginal support. I've always been just a good go call away. It belongs to us, the service platform, and contribute to activities. That's the President General who is part of us, and who just gone away with that. And again, we will be able to thank All our people from across the world, especially our diaspora partners, different parts of the world, joining us directly, especially as those a lot of them, especially online and so on. We thank the ambassador. Service investment community. Thank you for this new community. Because we have to be not just to talk about that government back home. I welcome you all to this great meeting to live right now. Thank you very much. DJ, we can appreciate once more. Upon the stress, mental stress, physical stress, was able to give a resounding speech. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the chairman for his speech, let me appreciate especially Secretary, the National Organizing Committee, conventionally we call it Central Planning Committee, Barrister Ujumwa Ezani. Please appreciate her. At this point in time, let me invite for opening speech the chairman of this historic summit, our dear son, our dear brother, the pro-Igbo son, and a man who fights for the unity and progress of Nigeria, the ideology of maintenance of Federal Character Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Mazi Sam Owabunwa, MONOFR. Put your hands together. Hello.
Divine Dando. Mendo. Jendo. You could even they won. Igbo man. Cow. Your Excellencies, with special reference to permit me to call him my younger brother, but I love so much. If I inside such an obeying young man who is supporting another obeying important young person in the act of governance. When we are speaking about who are those representing the new generation of leaders in governance, I think people should come to ENUGU to begin to take lessons. So very often, thank you. We have been very dissatisfied with the caliber of leaders that Nigeria has produced, especially in the political realm, for some time now. But I am so glad that there is ray of hope that if we have the type we are seeing in Enugu State and in some of the southeastern states, including my state and their state, there is hope really that something is about to happen. I want to thank you, His Excellency Fine, openly for taking the pace to come all the way to Wire for my 75th birthday. I've not had the opportunity to see you face to face after that. I was really thrilled that you honored me. Thank you, sir. the President General of Ohanese, another younger brother of mine. You know, it's good to start getting old, isn't it? You start having too many, quite a number of younger brothers. But especially, you are glad to call them younger brothers if they are doing well, isn't it? If they are not doing so well, you will not add that brother. The PG of Ohanese, Senator Azuta Mbata, he's not here now, but he's heavily represented by another of my younger brother, Oke Wadidobi, who is also a friend, one of the very distinguished marketers, marketing consultants that you can find in our country, especially from the eastern side of Nigeria. Your Excellency, Dr. ENUGU, former governor of ENUGU State, and a very distinguished member of the Board of Trustees, former chairman of PDP, and member of Board of Trustees of PDP, who I remember when I was trying to run for the presidential slot in PDP. After listening to me severally, he didn't say exactly that, so he didn't say exactly that, but I repeated it today. He told me, he said, Master Sam, you are doing so well. I like the economic policies. I've watched you when you were chairman of the Economic Summit Group. You're strong in economy. In case you don't win this primary, I'm going to recommend you to whoever won the primary to give you a substantial rock in the economy. I don't know if you remember it. I remember it clearly because he said it with sincerity. Unfortunately, he has not had the opportunity to do so, so I hope you still have the opportunity. Your Majesty, Ambassador Lawrence who is perhaps one of the senior brothers that I have here, but the man that has chosen me by in one single man combining several things: an intellectual, a diplomat, a traditional ruler and leader, and a community leader, a patriot. We met in the trenches when we were, establishing the Ali Vodemel Foundation 8 years, many years ago. And I found him very, very, very intriguing and very, very, very committed. I'm glad to see you, sir, at this event. I've always seen you at any good event when the Igbo people are meeting. God bless you. Chief Simon Okeke Ochedu Guruguru, that's what I call him, of Igbo. This, I don't need to say much about it because a lot has been said. But I like to be like him when I grow old like he is. First, at 90, he's walking without any age. His head is correct, his body is correct. Who wouldn't want to be like him? I want to be like this guy. My beloved younger brother, I'm sorry I'm in this mood of talking about age. Maybe because I just did a birthday celebration. General Obi Umahi, the General of the People's Army, my co-laborer in the vineyard, and also the President General of Lagos, and a very, very distinguished soldier of the Cross, soldier of Nigeria, a soldier of Igbo cause. Today I have two of my compatriots in the Council of Igbo Business Leaders of Ohanese who are here that I can see. I'm sure many more are on their way. The first is Chief Chika Okafor, otherwise known as Chikasi. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Just a few days ago, on Sunday, he hosted us. There's a group of investors and people looking for business opportunities, specifically targeted in people from Botswana. In fact, they're on their way, they will have arrived any time from now. He hosted us, he hosted them in his house. And that's what he does. He's the one who hosts everybody that is on substance in Lagos. We have other people here, ambassadors, Joa ENUGU and the Sierra Leonean ambassador. Sorry, I didn't get your name, but Your Excellency, I greet you. We have intellectuals, men who combine theory and practice, who have advised and played roles in several places. One of those, Professor Ken, Ife here. I know that there are other professors who are going to speak to us today, other guest speakers. We have a lot of investors, businessmen, business leaders, community leaders, traditional leaders, members of the media, those who love the Southeast. I greet you. Good afternoon. I say good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to say that it is such a great joy to stand before you and to address you as the chairman of this opening ceremony. It's such a grace and a great privilege, and we remain thankful to God for the privilege He has granted all of us to be here today. His grace has brought us from our different locations and stations to the capital of our region, ENUGU. To God be all the glory and honor. I must acknowledge up front the dogged efforts of the Southeast Business and Investment Summit Group, led by the irrepressible Dr. Ife Okwenna. I'm aware that he and his team have worked tirelessly to gather this very distinguished cast of business leaders, entrepreneurs, investors, policymakers, development agencies, service providers, and lovers of the Southeast within and outside Nigeria to this event. He's a tall man. He's also not very fat, but I can bet he has lost up to 2 kg in the last couple of weeks, transversing the country, trying to promote this event. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. The job he's doing and the job he's done is not an easy job. If you've been in this circle of organized meetings, conferences, you know that it's a very, very tough job. But I'm glad that he has kept faith, and I believe that God will make this conference successful in Jesus' name. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to this second edition of the Southeast Business and Economic and Investment Summit called Service 2.0. So the question is, why are we really here? It's very well established that the Southeast region of Nigeria is punching below its weight, economically, politically, and socially. We are not where we ought to be. We have much more than we are given. And most people here today can provide the reasons for this state of affairs. Some may blame it on the consequences of the Nigeria-Biafra war, a war which I still feel proud that I was a participant, I was a combatant in that war, one of the youngest army officers in Biafra. Thank you. And the continued discrimination against the Southeast and the Igbo nation in general sees the war till date. So we blame it on our state governments. Sometimes the inability to mobilize with all of us, the inability to even meet. Because there were times it was difficult for governors to meet, just have a meeting among themselves. How much more calling other people to come and work with them to generate a new business environment and bring new investments to our region. Because as I remarked during my intro, we can see a definite change. In fact, that definite change has led us. There's a group I work with called the PL Award. It is a group licensed by the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Over 30 years ago, we do yearly PL Awards and we focus on the capital market, performance in the capital market. But this year, we introduced a new category, not a capital market operator, but the most distinguished public sector performer that came from the private sector. And guess who won it for this year? Do you know who won it? ENUGU. Awards will be made, I think, by the end of this week or Sunday or so. It's the first time we're doing the award, and it came to you. There are 3 governors who were in the list, in the final list when the selection was being made. My joy was out of 3 governors, 2 came from the southeast, but eventually Peter and Bar won. Let's clap. So, for me, I'm not trying to praise anybody or speak in those kind of words to eulogize. Those who deserve eulogy will get. I'm not cut out to say what I don't mean. I believe that all of us see that the class of governors we have this time, the chair will tell you that. Because I know how much he has labored to get our governors to work together and take away the shame from our faces. I begin to see that today I can probably say I'm from other states. Because of what is happening with our governors. So we know that is a legitimate blame. Others may blame it on Hanese. What is Hanese doing? That's the question here. That's the refrain. What is Hanese? Each time there's a problem, what's Hanese doing? If the Southeast is not moving forward, they blame Hanese. And sometimes they blame our traditional institutions. And some others say it is the fault of the business class. People are not investing at home. You are going to invest somewhere. In my view, ladies and gentlemen, all these complaints are correct. And in fact, there is enough blame to go around to every one of us. Why are we where we are? Why are we punching below our weight? Every one of us has a blame. Of course, some have more blame than others. According to the theme of this summit, SAPIS 2.0, remaking the Southeast as economic powerhouse. This topic first is an admission that Southeast or Eastern Nigeria, as it was then called, was once an economic powerhouse. If you're talking about remaking, it means that we were once. History bears it out that between 1960 and 1966, the eastern region of Nigeria had the fastest growing economy anywhere in the world, exceeding growth in China and Japan, which were those areas that growth was pouring up at that period. Under the leadership of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, then followed by Dr. Okpara, Michael Okpara, all of blessed members. So, today, the interpretation is that it means that it is possible to remake the region to become a fast-growing economic zone. So if it was, it's possible to remake it. I remember soon after the war, in Port Harcourt where we lived, and you know, everybody ran away and we went for preparation. We came back, those who had accounts were giving, is it 10 or 20 pounds? 20 pounds. So within 1 or 2 years, we began to hear about the same guys we used to hear about in Port Harcourt. The Akenas, the Hekwabas, the Anodefos, we began to hear the same names. So when I asked my father, I said, how come these people are coming back and becoming rich people again? My father said the reason why there is that they know the routes that money passes. So they are adept at knowing how to lay trap for the money. So that's why they are hearing about that. It was a good training my father gave me there, good answer. So if the Southeast was once a powerhouse, does it not mean that we can really make it another powerhouse? Does it not mean that? That's the deduction. That's deduction that we can. And that's what we're here to discuss, how we can make it happen. It's not just rhetoric. All of us gathered here today, including those who are not indigenous of this state, of this region, fully agree that this is doable. Above all the reasons for which they think this is possible, is that they know that the people of the Southeast are perhaps the most entrepreneurial stock in Africa. The most entrepreneurial stock in Africa. They know that they know what role the people have played. That the people of Southeast have played and continue to play in propelling the economy of other regions of the country and even other regions of the world. They also remember that despite the ravages of the Civil War, that by 1978-79, Igbo seemed to have made tremendous recovery and progress on all sectors that startled Nigerians and startled the world. Nobody can believe that in 1979 we had produced a vice president for Nigeria, even a speaker of the House of Representatives. But so soon after that, especially since 1983, the economic and political relevance of the region seemed to be on a steady decline. This resulted in apparent mass exodus of the people of Southeast as what I call economic migrants. I'm not the first to call that name. Some others like said so. To mostly the Southwest, Lagos and environs, and the North, mostly to Abuja and environs. Beyond those who have made a life of living in Kano and other parts of the North. Living a region full with high unemployment, high poverty, and increasing social malfeasance, which in the last couple of years has degenerated into criminal enterprise in some parts of our region, and giving us a bad name. That each time you tell someone you're going to the Southeast, it's as if they're going to commit suicide. It's so painful, and I'm busy explaining that it's not so. That I go anywhere I can when I want, but the impression is that this place is on fire. You can't even move around safely. Of course, there was a time it looked like that. But I thank God that something has happened and security is returning. I believe that since 2010 or so, many of our country people have been crying Akurulo, Akurulo. It has begun to ring among our people. Ohanese, Alibo Development Foundation, and several other socio-cultural groups are calling for a change of direction. Even the Igbo diaspora had joined in the call, hastened by the most recent political vendetta being meted to our economic assets in Lagos area particularly. This repeated assault on our people's investment in Lagos and elsewhere has made the need for refocusing on our homeland most urgent. Because if those signs are not enough, I don't know what else. I saw the signs when I was a young man, 15, 16 year old, and I saw the signs, and I saw the result, and I saw what happened to us. Many of us were unprepared, but I'm begging us not to allow what happened to us before to happen to us again unprepared. So enter service 1.0 and now service 2.0 as an instrument for the realization of the objective of restoring the economic prowess of the Southeast and indeed the whole nation. I'm a strong believer that the critical effort to remaking the Southeast an economic powerhouse must focus on attracting investments into the region from both local, diaspora, and international sources. Because investments create businesses, programs, and projects. And then businesses, programs, and projects create jobs. Then jobs create wealth. And wealth drives away poverty, ushering in prosperity. Savings is a result focused on identifying business opportunities, as my friend, the DG, has spoken. They are focused on identifying those business opportunities that are available, then attracting the investment that will catalyze this investment or these businesses and facilitating the growth of the businesses. That's what we're here to do. Are there people of the Southeast who have business opportunities, business ideas that they have seen can work? They've done the work. I know that my friend Dalozu, who is here as one of the members of our business leaders group, has businesses that are waiting and asking for investment. Ready-made, all the work has been done. It's please come and join us and let's cause a major change in the economic land space. There are a lot of young people who are here today who already have business ideas. They don't have to be big like the EECD, Egypt Economic City, and the road infrastructure. There are those who have food businesses. There are those who have food processing. There are those who are in IT. There are those who are in fintech. Many of them are looking for investors to catalyze them. So service is here to bring these two kind of people together so that we can realize the more rapid remaking of the Southeast. Unlike some other similar events or activities, we attend several summits, several meetings. Service is not just a talk show or just a place of information dissemination, which is also good. But it is more of a matchmaking platform where investors meet business opportunities trying to be harvested and then provide the support, including off-takers, customers, and service providers. And when the talking is over, when we have finished talking the next 2-3 days and go, most summits will close. Most summits will issue a communique and then wait till the next year. Not so with service. When this talking is over, when the contacts are made, when it needs to be contacts have been made, service or SEBIC, Southeast Business and Investment Summit Group, with a fully resourced secretariat, continue to maintain the link, follow up on agreements, and facilitate full consummation so that we can ensure tangible outcomes next time we meet. When I was invited to be chairman, I said, I am tired of talk shows. I am tired of getting people. These days it's so expensive to travel. Somebody MC, God bless you, where is that MC? When you raise the issue of begging our airline operators to have mercy on us. Because to make a trip to ENUGU and back is a capital investment, especially as we're going to this season. I know there are economic issues related to pricing, but I think there should be some bit of consideration for this. So what am I talking about? When the talking is over, if we must make this meaningful, there must be something that we must pursue and follow on outcomes. And that's why I have accepted to be chairman of CITES 2.0, because I want to be able to say that at this summit, these were the agreements made, these were the MOUs signed, these were the commitments made, and then I want to be sure that when we come here 1 year time, somebody is going to be here and present to us what's happened, what businesses, what we agreed, and what has happened. If we can't do that, then it's not everybody's. Wow. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me close. We are ready to begin the transactions. We're ready to begin to do the deals. It is my earnest hope that by the time this summit is concluded tomorrow, a couple of deals will have been made and many MOUs signed. We're encouraged. Thank you. Thank you. You know, somebody said if you want to clap, clap. Don't threaten to clap. Thank you. I said in closing that we're encouraged that our political and traditional leaders are on board on this mission. One of the issues I raised with Chief Iwanya when he was inviting us to come and serve in this forum or to serve the council, I said we must have our governors on board. There's nothing Hanese can do alone if the governors are not on board, because they are the people giving the statutory power to develop the region. They have the power constitutionally given. They also have the resources. So if they don't join this community effort we are making as for Hanese or savings, then we are just entertaining ourselves. Because one policy can ruin everything that we have in plan. So that's why when I see the governor seated here, quietly and nicely, and then I see our traditional rulers here who can talk to all the powers that we are, see these very distinguished people, I'm encouraged that we're not wasting our time. Because if it were, they wouldn't be here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I also believe that our great God, the God of the Igbo nation, will crown our endeavors with success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that the chairman of the summit is an orator. Please appreciate him once again. At a point in the life of a man where you have paid your dues, patriotically, economically, and otherwise, you will have the guts to talk to the leaders the way they want, even though you are going to be very, very diplomatic and honest about it. That is what he has done. He reminded us that cooperation and collaboration with the governors of Southeast is inevitable if we must develop our land. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, let me invite an international consultant and a development economist. He is lead consultant, the Economic Community of West African States, the now running ECOWAS Commission. He's going to be talking to us about cooperation and collaboration for development, key to unlocking the Southeast economic potentials. He's a revered professor of high business. Join me to welcome Professor K. Ife.
Excellencies, let me stand on the existing protocol because time has been fast spent. And I don't want to stand between you and your appetite. In the initial meeting of last year, I shared the MSME chapter that I developed for the ECOWAS Commission, which is now implemented in Africa. Secondly, I shared my own vision of how we need to move forward. And in this version today, I think my focus is on how do we hit the ground running. Because we have done a lot of talk. So many policies, so many things, but it's about hitting the ground running. And let me say one thing. We have to, as an Igbo community, think global, envision global, and act local. We have to act local because the challenge we are trying to face is how do we lift the Southeast geographical region. Because we are doing well globally, we are doing well in Africa, we are doing well all over Nigeria, but all of those do not translate to employment at home. They do not translate to lifting people out of poverty at home. So we have to do something to say how we have to put our resources where our mouth is. But the way I envision it is this: how can Southeast be to Africa what China is to the whole world? That is if you are thinking in the context of the Africa continental free trade. So how can we project ourselves to Africa and become to Africa what China is to the entire world? And I think no tribe, no state has the power or the potential to do just that more than the Southeast state. And I will also say, in envisioning this, look beyond Nigeria. We have to look beyond Nigeria. But as far as you would say, I spoke in his SSG, what's it called, the summit group. I laid the same challenge at the summit group, where I was saying to them, look, there are two things here, two agendas. We have trade in services and we have trade in goods. In trade in services, we are okay because all our banks are all over Africa. All our digital economy, we are digital champions of Africa anyway. And our cultural and creative, they're all over the world. They didn't need government support as such. So when it comes to trade in goods, just sort out the protocols for them and they will run. But when it comes to trade in goods, we haven't actually got things to export. I even export raw materials. So what is it that we are going to export? I took the same challenge to Southeast our people. What are we going to export to the whole West Africa? We're already doing things all over the world. We have diaspora, 17 million Nigerians and the diaspora bringing in over $24 billion. We know that. Part of our challenge is how do we move them into our strategy. So I want us to think about that. And what I put forward is this. The greatest challenge facing us as a nation, apart from all the nonsense the NNPC have done to this country, and I always say every day on the television, is that we have an import-dependent economy. And that is by design, colonial design, even from 1945. We were conditioned to be an exporter of raw materials, and then they will process them and bring it for us to consume. To the extent that European Economic Partnership Agreement wanted 80% of our imports. So you don't even expect us to trade with other African countries, China, Japan. So no, it's we and them. And of course I said no, because when it came down to my people, I said no, that's what we want. So how do we reverse this? How do we reverse this? We have to adopt what we call export-led growth strategy. Please understand that Nigeria doesn't have we don't have industrial policy in Nigeria. You don't know that. We don't have industrial policy in Nigeria. We should have industrial policy for Southwest. We don't have trade policy. We don't have trade policy in Nigeria. We don't, as of now, we don't have trade policy. When I was the UK trade advisor to Nigerian government in 2012, I wrote the chapter on trade facilitation. I think I didn't present it to the federal executive council. The first one was 2005. It should have been every 5 years. So today we don't have one. Southeast will have our own. So once we have those two, then we can talk about the strategy that I have mentioned, where industrialization has to sit in the middle. It is about industrialization. And when you talk about industrialization, I want you to hear something. When you talk about industrialization, you always try to begin with areas of natural advantage that you have. So what is it that God has given you? Endowments. And what He has given you, you have an inalienable right to add value to those. So that is your starting point. Then there are other natural ones that came along as well. Like if you look at Onitsha is good in trade. You have go to Abaleda works, and you go to ENUGU digital trade, and then you go to Ebonyi. You go, they're all at why? So we have to be strategic in our thinking, so that you can mobilize the resources necessary for you to make that impact and then think global. Now, I want one more before I get to the. I don't want to use my presentation. You have it, you can have it, but that's going to take more time. There are two types of partnerships that we need to develop. When I spoke to Fed 2 days ago, he said, "Oh, we want to raise 200 billion naira fund." I said, "Yeah, that's fine. But let's start small and grow big." First of all, there are two types of partnership that we have to cultivate, believe it or not. One of them is triple-headed knowledge transfer partnership. Second one is resource mobilization partnership. Those are the two. Because it's important for you to leverage every resource, wherever the resource is. Whether the resource is in Bank of Industry, or Exim Bank, or Bank of Agriculture, or foundation here, foundation there, Aqua Foundation, whoever it is, you leverage those. See that because they are already there. And you have a captive audience. You are still part of Nigeria. But you must have the infrastructure. You must have the what is it that you are giving to them, so that you can access that resource. So you must be able to provide some kind of entrepreneurship training, yes, some kind of awareness, yes, some kind of mentoring activity. Because one of the challenges we are having is that what used to be a defining factor in Igbo entrepreneurship, which you see in Alaba, you see everywhere, is our apprenticeship system, but it's facing a challenge because it's dying away. So we need to create another form that delivers exactly the same, leveraging all the technology, leveraging innovation, so guys, we need to focus on that. But then, while you provide that skill, entrepreneurship skills and whatever, you have to have your hand on all of those resources that are already here, wanting to give those people some seed funds. Let me be practical. Bank of Industry is ready to do business with every state. Because we have the biggest 2 billion. So why are we not using that? So if the 5 states can do 2 billion, POI with another 10 billion, and 20 billion pots. to be accessed by your people. Then say this network is doing the training, doing that, use online, use all kinds of to train people that will access that. It does not stop us from raising our 200 million. It gives you a start, immediate start. You are on ground. It's so easy to build up when people can see what you are doing. Remember that the has his foundation. The Bill Gates has much more money in his own foundation. But when he saw what he was doing and doing it effectively, they had to come. In fact, even Bill Gates, the man that had much more money than Bill Gates, called Bill Gates and even gave him more money to do it. But you have to start something. It doesn't have to start something. Whether it is online, wherever that facility is, start it. So that everybody will begin to look at you as someone that provides that training, that provides the mentoring and matching of these people that want training to you, and then you begin to access. And anyone that comes in, you can buy those small tools that they need to make a start. 250,000 naira, 500,000 for them to make a start. So this partnership I mentioned is to deal in the area of bioentrepreneurship, digital trade, innovation, creativity, technology, e-commerce platform, mentorship, especially linking with the diaspora. So that is one. But there's the second one, which is very important, because this one is about resource mobilization. And this is more about access to finance. That's where your money is going to come to. But that is also linked to industrial infrastructure. Because when you look at what we have already, you know that if you go to Aba, you in fact manage that. I remember when I was doing some program for the KFI, they were telling me that I had to focus on 60% of my money was doing this million up there and that, and then hide and seek. And I said, okay, even if they do hide and seek, they can't do it. I'm just not going to give it. It's not Abba that will use them and make sure, okay, Abba can come in. So we need to do so in this. If you want to be ahead and continue to be ahead, you have to look at the skills agenda. The skills agenda we know is entrepreneurship, and then you know that innovation must continue to come in, because if you don't have innovation, innovative capacity, if you don't have capital accumulation, these are the three things that define any community that's living anywhere in the world. Those three things. Where is the skill base and how are you? Where is the capital and how are you accumulating the capital? And where is the importance of innovation and technology? Finish that one. You will control the country, you will control Africa, you will control the world that is from the south and going to the south. So where do I bring all this together? You need to have governance. Let's talk about governance. We are going to do 200 million. Where is the governance? Let's talk about governance. How is the governance? Are you going to get steering committee that has representatives from all the states and is going to do what? And then where are you going to do digital collaboration with NPS? Which bank has very good research for something, and so who is going to be on so that you can be getting all your data without having to review what they have done? And where are you going to get the funds? So we will do some launching later tonight to see what fund we can get. But we have to roll up our socks and start thinking about how we hemorrhage existing funds, because there are a lot of them waiting. So I'm not even talking about development partners. I'm consultants, there were 16 of them, world back maybe. I know what they want now. 17 years I've been in the house. It is about proving to us that you can play a meaningful role, they can trust you. And so give you access to those funds that you want to benefit. Our people will work on the people who will benefit from the fund. They have to.
I told you, Dr. or Professor Kennefe is a lead consultant to ECOWAS Commission. And by what he has just deposited, it's a testament to what we've said about him. Please, ladies and gentlemen, can we appreciate him once again? While he was talking, one of the Igbo elders who has done well in business stepped in. This family, if you count about 500 buildings in Independence layer, I'm sure the family has 10%. That is one family. The head of that dynasty is here. I'm talking about Oba and Dr. D.A. Wando. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we're progressing. Let me invite the leader of Igbo social culture organization, Nabroni, that is Ohanese Igbo. The deputy president is going to be talking to us because the president was here around 10:30 a.m. Well, I think you understand and you see what happens on social media. Exactly people that were indicated moving to the south part of the country. But sometimes, because of the information we see on social media, everybody has to be careful and always be at alert. AI also plays its role. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador, okay, Wanilobi, put your hands together for him.
Excellency, the Executive Governor of ENUGU State, Dr. Peter Bamba, very ably represented by His Excellency Barrister Ifeanyi Osa, Deputy Governor of ENUGU State. Your Excellency, Dr. Mr. Wood, former Governor of Enugu State, our leader in Abuja, Chief Dr. P.M. Okeke, very happy to have you here. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to plead that you allow me to stand on the existing protocol. Today is indeed a very special day. As you've been told, our President General, Senator John Asuta Bata, left Port Harcourt by 5 a.m. to be here for 11 o'clock. He arrived by quarter to 11 o'clock this morning. And expecting that this event would have started by 11 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, he would have concluded his assignment here and moved over for the 2 o'clock assignment. So he asked me to apologize to all of you. He prepared a written speech, which unfortunately hasn't been given to me. So I'm going to speak on behalf of our Hanese, but I'm going to express my personal views. I would like to say that what is happening here today is a great thing for Ndi. I've been part of similar events. First, as the president of the ENUGU Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. I've also done this as chairman of Southeast Chambers of Commerce Forum, where we came together to set up the Southeast Economic Summit. Happily, on behalf of Hanese, I was given a role to chair the committee that planned a World Economic Summit for Hanese. Now, there's one thing that runs across, and I'm seeing it here, and I'm looking around for our keynote speaker, Professor Ken. There's something that is missing. Each time people are called together, to brainstorm, to come up with programs on how we can begin to build an Igbo. You see, almost an empty hall. We have key people that we know have special roles to play. And why is it that when they're invited, we do not find them? The unfortunate thing that happens is that you will come up with very special papers. There was a time when we organized we organized as Southeast Economic Summit Group, we organized 4 summits in a row. And we brought our best from all over the world. They presented the most excellent papers you can think of. Now, what is it that happened? We turned those papers into books, distributed them when people even refused to buy them. The question is, did they have time to read those papers? The first summit we organized, all the governors in the Southeast attended. And I can tell you that one of the governors who was chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum at the time, insisted that we must come up with an executive summary of all the decisions in the summit, and that for the next 1 year, we are going to meet with him every month. And that most of the agreements in the summit, first he was going to take to the president of Nigeria, and a number of things that happened during the tenure of that government came from the recommendations of the summit. And in his state, a number of things, he engaged the business people, the leaders in the state, and I can tell you that a number of industries, a number of key things happened in his state. So we must challenge ourselves. I'm happy that Your Excellency you're here. The question is, what is it that is the problem? At the Southeast Economic, Southeast Governors Forum, is it not possible for us to identify, I believe that we can pick 100 people and talk to ourselves. We can, if you look at the theme for this summit, remaking Southeast as economic powerhouse. I would like to add, remaking Southeast as the economic powerhouse in Nigeria, so that Southeast will be the destination of choice. We have done it before. Before the war, was able to establish the fastest growing economy in the world. Not even a study that was done in Nigeria or Africa, but a study carried out in the US, in the United States of America. So something is really missing. We have to talk to ourselves, and we are all talking about the role, we are talking about developing the Southeast, but we must engage, just like you mentioned, collaboration. We must engage with ourselves, the leadership, the governors, the political leaders. We have a major problem. We lost, well, before the war, and the war didn't go away. We must accept that. As individuals, we are given 20 hours. But look at our people. As individuals, talking to themselves, learning from each other, learning from other people in the world, they have rebuilt themselves. They are great people all over Nigeria, all over the world. So what is it that is wrong? There is something that is wrong. We should be able to carry out studies. We should be able to find out what the issues are. We should be able to come up with a master plan. We should be able to agree on things that we must all do. That's the only way we can change our Southeast zone. I'd like to say a very big thank you to the organizers of this event. They should be encouraged. They should be supported. I'd like to appeal that Your Excellency, you take back this message to the governor and to his brother governors that something has to change. We are all bleeding. We are all suffering. This is probably the only zone where the majority of our elite, the place is empty. Our people live in Abuja, live in Lagos. That's what is happening. Those that are in Nigeria, others have run away. There must be a way of talking to ourselves. What are these problems? Let us resolve them so that our people can come home, live at home, and make our home better. So, the organizers in this event today, I'd like to say a big thank you. That's the main message I believe our President General would have given here today. To say you've done a good thing, you should be supported. There are many more that are doing great things to ensure that our economy changes and that our homeland gets better. So may we all encourage ourselves, support ourselves, so that our homeland will be better. Thank you for being here, and may God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I think you spoke the mind of the people. That is why he's a worthy Deputy President General. A wonderful one. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at your far left or right, depending on your sitting position, you will see good shoes, good sandals, palm slippers of high quality. Both the police one, both the ones for customs, both the ones for military, and other ones. They are manufactured in Igbo land, especially at Aba. That is very, very good. And if you look at your back, you see so many locally made products that will serve the test of time, both to the international community. I can also see Masters brand, Masters oil, Masters grease, Masters synthetic, one of the leading lubricants in Nigeria. They are here. I can also see a particular woman that produces a special bread known as Okpa bread. If you eat Okpa food, which is largely manufactured or prepared in ENUGU, there's another dimension to it. If you look at your back, you see that cake made of Okpa bread. And the woman said that they stay at the ENUGU Technology Innovation Center. So if your doctor tells you go on such dietary to live as long as you change, who is logging almost 90 decades of years, you can locate them. Ladies and gentlemen, we've talked by our people, for our people, and our people. Now I want to invite the High Commissioner of Sierra Leone to the Federal Republic of Nigeria Council. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome His Excellency Mr. Benga from Sierra Leone. Please give him more Nigerian clap.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. My name is Yusuf Bengasama. I'm the Minister, Chancellor, and Head of Chancellor, the Republic of Sierra Leone High Commission in Abuja. I'm here to represent my High Commissioner, who's unfortunately not here today, but I'm pleased to be here. I'm delivering this statement on his behalf. Mr. Chairman, kindly permits me to stand on the existing protocol to deliver a short goodwill message on behalf of the Republic of Sierra Leone, a permanent representative to the ECOWAS Commission. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, it is my singular honor to stand before this august body to deliver a goodwill message and to extend my warmest congratulations to the organizers of this second annual Southeast Economic and Investment Summit, taking place at this beautiful and historic city of ENUGU. I do my hearts to the organizing committee whose tireless endeavors have brought together eminent personalities from diverse backgrounds, including diplomats who are here to discuss the economic growth and development of Southeast of this nation. And with a strong conviction that the summit will serve as a platform for stakeholders in the economic development trajectory, whereby policymakers, including regulators in this sector, will share common ideas and exchange views on issues that will accelerate economic growth, not only in the Southeast, but also in the country as a whole. I also believe, Mr. Chairman, that this summit will garner new ideas, innovations, and strategies to address the major impediments to economic growth, not only in the Southeast, but the country as large. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, colleagues, diplomats here present, this year's theme resonates with the current global economic trends and we wish to commend the organizers for the novel idea. Let me also take this opportunity to recall this study that in June this year, the Office of the President, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, organized a successful regional economic summit, whereby few West African leaders gathered to discuss the future of region's economy. I believe that the organizer of this year's Southeast Summit will share pages of lessons learned from that summit. In conclusion, let's be mindful that the future of our economy in West Africa as a whole is in our hands, which requires concerted efforts by all to build a sound economy for us and for the future of our region. We pray that this summit becomes the beacon of hope and progress, illuminating the path to a more prosperous and equitable Southeast of this great nation and for the whole of Nigeria and the sub-region. Mr. Chairman, I will not conclude this goodwill message without expressing our sincere gratitude to the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for their invaluable support to the people of Sierra Leone during our civil war. That support to our nation's peace will never be forgotten and will remain indebted to this great nation. Let me end by thanking the organizers for the invitation extended to the Board of Sierra Leone High Commission to participate in this very important summit, which strengthens the bond of relationship between Sierra Leone and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I thank you all for your kind attention and God bless.
Thank you. I don't know that the Williams are this intelligent. Yeah, I'm serious. Please appreciate it once more. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite renowned captain of industry. Because of his business exploits, the Federal Republic of Nigeria has honored him 3 times on the national platform CFR, CON, the chairman, Chikasin Group of Companies Limited, a billionaire in dollars, but very humble. Just Chief Dr. Okafor Chika.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me stand on the existing protocol. My own job is very simple. I'm here to say the way it is. I want to thank the organizers of this event because every year people will labor, spend their time, spend their money, gathering people together. But at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. We have one serious challenge. I have been to ENUGU for this type of events a few times, And whenever we are here, we don't have our governors or their representative. This event is Southeast Economic Powerhouse. It's not ENUGU Economic Powerhouse. We need to see our governors if they are interested in what we are doing. What we are saying today has been said and said and said and said, and nothing has happened. You know our problem. I'm sorry to say our problem is our governors. Until our governors work together, there will be no progress in Southeast. We are calling people to invest. Where are they going to invest? Are you investing where you will not be able to enjoy your investment? So my message is please, Your Excellency, please, when you get to speak to our able governor to see what can be done. Let our Southeast governors work together. Number one challenge we have is insecurity. Number one, before every other thing is insecurity. Let me meet myself and the Newi, I'm from Newi, as a practical example. I established my first industry in 1987, live vegetable oil. Since then, to the glory of God, we have added more 4 or 5 industries there. In 2014, at the year I had 4,860 staff. And my vision was that by 2025, I should have over 25,000 staff. We have all it takes to do that. But I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Southeast. In 1995, we had 56 industries in India alone. In 1995, we had 56 industries in India alone. From that 56 industries today, from that number, that old companies, only about 6 are still opening their premises. I'm not talking about the new ones that we expected to speak of. The Southeast has the best brains in terms of business. We have people that are willing and interested in investing in Southeast. But the same challenge is what everybody is facing. When you go to Newi today, all the successful businessmen, they have all moved to Lagos and Abuja. If you go to Onitsha today, all the successful businessmen that have moved from Onitsha to Lagos and Abuja, are they going to invest where they will not money their investment? The answer is no. So my message is this: we need our Southeast governors to work together. It's doable. It's doable. The moment they can sit together and plan together, they will achieve the result. It is only after that when you call people to come and invest, they will listen to you. Insecurity is number one. Before infrastructure. Most of the factories in India, what killed them was power. Even before the issue of insecurity. God was power killed all of them. But I thank God, we start this development commission. I think if they work together with our governors, we will see better. Then, talking to investors, are you calling somebody Okay, let me tell you something that happened last week. We signed EPA with a Chinese company that they supply power in whole of the state. They visited ENUGU 2 months ago. They came up with their plan. They're going to, I promise to give them enough land to put up their power plants so that they can supply us, supply Innocent and others. We agreed. We did everything. They're supposed to start. They're supposed to have started work last 2 weeks. They said they are waiting approval from China. Even the president of the company came on wait from China. Only last week, they said that they are not interested to invest in Southeast because of insecurity. This thing happened last week. This Chinese company, the company that supplies power to the whole Ogun State. As I know, they have 400 megawatts. They are putting another 800 megawatts in the Ogun State for all the industries. And we agreed. They came to me. We took them around. They were very happy. And we mentioned other factories around. And gave them a place to put up the plant that will obtain. Then after that, we agreed even the price only for them to come back when they're supposed to start work. Yes. And say that they got the information they got from their listeners is that they are not going to invest in something because of insecurity. This is 1 out of 1,000. So when we are talking about investment in Southeast, please let us resolve the issue of insecurity. If that one is resolved, then every other thing will come in place. If you look at the type of governors we have, I think this is the best time Southeast have the best governors. The type of governors we have this time around is the best when you compare it since 2009, when we embraced democracy. When I came to ENUGU this morning, I was excited with the level of development, even though I've been reading about it on the dailies. But I was excited. Look at how neat. And the project that is coming up everywhere. When you go down to the center, Anambra Center. So we have the best set of governors now. My request and my prayer is this: please let us see how we can plead with them to work together as brothers. Issue of insecurity will be a thing of the past if they can work together. Because when they come up with one single agenda plan, they frustrate the Southeast. We know who is bad in our communities. If I pursue the man that is bad in my community and he enter another community, they will pursue him. By the time he enter another community, they will pursue him. Before you know it, they will disappear and we'll have peace. But if I pursue him from my village or from Anambra, he will go to Imo, or he will go to part of Abia, or Enugu State, or Ebonyi, and from there he will come back again. So before anything will work, please, let our governors start to plan together and work together to fight insecurity. Every other thing will fall in place. This is my message. I don't want to waste our time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I've told you before that when a man has succeeded in business, he can say it as it is. And you can see 4,860 staff in about 3 decades ago. And he opened his first company in 1987. I think before I was born. Is it easy? Put your hands together for him. Ladies and gentlemen, while Chairperson Group President was making a speech, a delegation from the Republic of Botswana came in. The Presidential Envoy, Director, Ministry of Trade and Investment, Republic of Botswana, Mr. Kabelo Kwame. Put your hands together for him. I'm inviting him at the same time to talk to us and give us the message from the Republic of Botswana. It's appreciated once again.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies, for the warm welcome. This afternoon, in terms of protocol, dignitaries who are here present, the governor, presidents of various pertinent organizations within the Igbo and dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to pass warm welcome remarks from our President in Botswana, President Advocate Duma Gideon Bo. I am pleased that finally I arrived in this place. It's a profound place. It feels like home, and I feel I'm part of you. It's only to choose where in the states where I belong. But generally, I feel welcome and I feel I'm part of this place. And I carry a message and a proposition to this gathering. Distinguished gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I carry a profound message from my country to yourselves to say that Botswana is very ready to welcome you to our country. We have put up a package for the Igbo business community to expand and diversify into our economy, into our country. And we are even willing to offer them citizenship to be part of us as much as they are people of Nigeria. We have studied your success. We have studied your thinking. We have studied your philosophy. We have studied your resilience. And we have studied your visionary approach. We have studied how you are analytical and the kind of value that you add in any jurisdiction that you go into. And we felt as the Republic of Botswana that it's time that we join hands with the Igbo business community to take our continent to the next level, to take our country as Botswana to the next level. Just to give you a background about the country Botswana, in the southern part of Africa, sharing border with South Africa and Namibia, it's a landlocked, unlike Nigeria, which have access to the sea. We are landlocked, and as such, it turned from being a disadvantage into an advantage in the sense that we have the best governance system in the continent of Africa. It's a well-run, managed country. It's the most peaceful. We don't know war. We've never been through war. We've never encountered internal wars. We are a united nation. As much as we have ethnic groups, but we have one Tswana national language that unify everyone that is taught within our education system. We speak Tswana and English, the whole country. And as such, I give you comfort that when you come to that country, you'll experience peace like you've never experienced before. In terms of the population, we are we are a profound country, among the smallest populations in Africa. But it's an opportunity for the Igbo community to join hands with us. We are designed through the governance system, through a well-balanced economy, through a very stable currency, and GDP per capita, which is very consistent. We are proud to say, even though we rely on a single commodity called diamonds, the country has never been in a deficit. We have had reserves since 1987 until 2025. We've had reserves throughout that can sustain the economy up to 3 years without any revenue coming in. Therefore, we have reached a stage where the economy is not growing. We need business partners. I don't consider you as investors. I consider you as business partners. Because when we are partnering with you, when you win, we win. When you are an investor, we just want you to come in, create jobs for us, and add value to your investment. We want a win-win situation. You win, we win, Africa win, and all of us win. And then we are very conscious of the African Union Vision 2063, which is very emphatic that as Africa, it's time that we trade among ourselves. It's time that we become jealous as an African continent. Do business with your fellow brother before you go into other continents. And it's one of our convictions that African Union Vision 2063 can be achieved, will be achieved, and we are ready to achieve it. Hence, we are here, and not on government to government, but presidential office to the Igbo community to say, this is the starting point. Let us work together through this journey and make Africa great, make Nigeria great, make Botswana great, make Sahel region great, and make the Africans great. As such, Botswana is ready to partner with yourselves. We have structures. We are very well-governed country in the sense that we have a development plan. Currently, we are working on National Development Plan 12, which is an outward-looking development plan. Our focus is not only on the Botswana market, on the Botswana economy. Our focus is servicing the whole of Africa. It's an export-led plan. It's an export-led vision, which when you become part of us, we participate together, we will unlock all the bottlenecks that will inhibit investors, business people, and billionaires from advancing into other jurisdictions into Africa. But Botswana will give you that platform. One, because our banking system, we are finalizing the open banking system, but in terms of our policy and regulation and legislation, we are an open market economy. You bring in $50 billion, and if you want to repatriate it in the next decade, our ecosystem financial regulations, they are open. You can repatriate all your profits, all your money, without anybody holding on to a portion of your money. That's how open we are. And then in terms of open banking, we want to create a platform whereby when you transact from Botswana to Nigeria, you press the button within 30 minutes or latest an hour, the transaction has reached Nigeria. That is called instant payment processing protocol. That is what we are gravitating towards. And even more, we are open to innovation as a country. Initially, our regulation was not conducive for innovation, but since our pension fund funded innovation, now we have opened up for innovation. When you come up, you invest in innovation. Even though we don't have that regulation, we have put together a sandbox regulation that allows the smooth transition. It will allow you to trade with the world while we develop regulation as you are trading. As soon as everything is put together, we issue a license such that it's formalized. So that is easy of doing business. We are super ready in terms of the ecosystem around payments, around the fintech. Botswana has put the regulations together. We are ready to connect you with the world. And the last ecosystem in terms of the banking economics, we are putting our laws together so that we will allow, as much as we have SWIFT that is dominated by the West, we are putting together a unified payment ecosystem that is widely used by India. India can do business with Russia while the West does not approve because of that ecosystem. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thankful that you invited me to speak to yourselves. We are super ready. And as the person who has been assigned to deal with all the bottlenecks for you as you come to Botswana. The process that would rather take 6 months, I will make sure that it's done within a week or 2 weeks. And we've had an interaction with the chairman of the Igbo business community. We've shared and poured our hearts to them to say we are.
Every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
way, and my name will, I hope, will be honored in the Igbo land after what you have achieved. Okay. Director of Ceremonies, thank you for giving me an opportunity, and I yield. Thank you. If you don't see Boba, no one can be Boba.
That young man who led the presidential delegate of Botswana has something to offer. He's appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, before I invite His Excellency to declare the business section, the exhibition of the pavilion open. Your Excellency, please permit me to invite His Royal Highness Igwe Ambassador Lawrence Agobuzo to speak to us. We have to invite him because some organizations are socio-economic, some are socio-cultural, they are not socio-traditional.
Your Excellency, Barrister, Deputy Governor of ENUGU State, representing His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubisi, Governor of ENUGU State. I have no record of the protocol here, but I think I know every face here. I don't know whether I can say it is fortunate or unfortunate. And most of the time, we come in a forum like this, and it is always almost the same face. We call this meeting again yesterday. You see old man Uchenna coming in. You will see that as old as it is, he's so patriotic and so determined to lift us up before God calls him. And we are very grateful. Then you see the first governor of ENUGU State, I hope I'm right. The first governor of ENUGU State, Dr. Kwesiles Enugu. So, he's always there, all the time. Now, the man we simply know as Chikasi, the investor, the entrepreneur, the distinguished businessman from ENUGU, always around. Now, the man who is toiling all the time, trying to bring us together, calling everybody, phoning, working 24 hours of the day. So thank you for bringing us here again today. Now, we have beside him somebody who could have been a very good president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mazi Ruabingwa. Many people don't know him because he's always quiet and unassuming. But the thing is here can solve the problems we have in this country. Thank you. Then my younger colleague, fellow diplomat from Botswana. Let me tell you, Botswana is the best to govern the country on the continent of Africa. Many people don't know this because God has always given them very, very good leaders. So, Cabello, when you go back, when you call them, tell Ambassador Hotel Kabebe that I asked of him, and your former president, my good friend, His Excellency President Festus Mohan. These are people I'm working. To liberate Africa from colonialism and apartheid. I know your country very well. You have had good leaders, wonderful people. And our colleague from Sierra Leone, Sierra Leoneans have an affinity with Igbo land. Many of the leaders who founded Sierra Leone were Igbos. So when you come here and say I'm at home, I just laugh at my mind. Because the younger generation may not know. But you are really one of us. I'm very happy you are here. Thank you. At the OAU, Dr. Kaloko was our doctor, was from Sierra Leone, and we worked closely with him. Now I get to the Deputy President General of our nation. Sir, you are welcome. The President General himself was here, dead on time. Senator Mbata. He was disappointed because this hall was empty. I sat down with him here. Then he had other engagements at the secretariat. And he went out. And the lesson is that we should try to keep that. It is absolutely necessary. We try to keep that. So I felt sorry when I see my deputy governor coming here to stay. Because I know what will be waiting for him in the office. They don't spend a minute wasteful in any state. The governor and the deputy are always working. So please, let us learn to keep to time. It's very important. Down there, I can see the 3-star general. I hope it's 3-star. Or is it 4 now? 5. Oh, 5. Yes, general. Thank you. It's the same face all the time, the same face. I can't even see all the people there. But please forgive me because I said I don't have any protocol list. But since I know everybody, I have to appreciate everybody. I don't have much to say, except to remind us that if you have a misfortune, in one way or the other, and you keep on talking about the misfortunes, it will blind your vision for good. Yes, we had a civil war, we had all that. But that's all over. We should now be looking at the very fine to come and see what we can do. I don't want to repeat what the experts in this field, because I'm not an expert in business. I don't want to repeat what they have said. The only thing I would like to say is that, yes, we have had bad governance. Let us agree. Because they are our brothers. They were not imported. But right now, things have changed. So instead of talking about the past, we should celebrate what is good. And having said that, I would like to say that if you do something in 2023, 2024, 2025, and the results are always the same, you should ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Okay, what are we doing wrong? Do you know the answer? From my own little experience, because I'm also getting old. Where is Ife? Ife, please, I'm addressing you. Don't waste your time organizing this Southeast Business Investment Summit. Are you listening? We were talking of the glorious days of Dr. Nandas and Dr. Michael Obama. Were they having investment summit here? I'm asking you. Have you people seen Obama as having investment summit? Yeah, you went to school. You should not have, taken your tuition fee for granted. We must go and read our own history and understand it and apply it. We shouldn't follow others. We shouldn't follow others. So if you call this investment summit here 100 times, you'll get the same faces. Except those who unfortunately will die. Because if weather was allowed to receive a year, if Obiano was allowed to receive a year, Gary the Becker will receive a year, and so on. I'm sorry, I was talking of we can't get nowhere and go on. So this is the thing. The mighty man, Dr. Van Diego, Jen and Puke Biles, Indi Diego, did my business. Don't call me. I'm going to my market. Sit down and get them. They can do wonders. History, our culture, when you go there, if a banner to get. Over business, business. Over business, over
Thank you. In all, I believe we will not stop trying. We will continue to try until we mount pressure to get it better. That is the philosophy. Thank you. Before I invite His Excellency, let me invite a patriotic Igbo son who in a few weeks' time will be clocking 9 decades on the surface of the earth. Former Chairman, Police Service Commission, an accomplished technocrat. I'm talking about Chief Dr. Simon Okeke Ochindo.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me stand on the existing protocol for serving. I salute the organizers for their effort, even if their intention had not been fully realized by virtue of not having here certain people that ordinarily have been, especially governments, which was the emphasis of the royal father
Thank you, I thank you for your reactions. Each occasion, my name is mentioned and the age mentioned. I thank you for your reactions. And I'm standing here to give you the anointing. You will all celebrate 90 years. Well, I'm here just to emphasize one or two things. Many of you here were not born at independence of Nigeria, October 1, 1960. But at independence, the British handed the baton of governance to Tafawa Balewa, Zik, and others on the basis of Nigeria standing on a tripod. Tripod means 3 legs. Today, well, the legs, Igbo leg 1, Yoruba leg 2, Hausa Fulani leg 3. Today, unfortunately, you all know, Nigeria is standing no longer on 3 legs, but on 2. One leg is broken. And it is my cardinal belief that Nigeria will continue to be unstable. It will continue wobbling until the broken leg is restored. January 15, the military made some moves. Not common. The government was torpedoed and they took over power. In trying to get things right, the rulers, the leaders went to Aburi and agreed on the new mode of living together, modus vivendi. All unanimously agreed, signed, delivered, read over many times before they signed, translated in the languages of the major tribes there, and they signed on getting to Nigeria. There was dragging of leg. What was agreed was not implemented. Our brother, who was the leader, insisted that he had to be implemented.
they said no. This led to the Nigerian Biafra war. The leader with whom we agreed to do certain things if the East were pushed beyond certain level, we thought would accept to behave as we agreed. Again, it was stopped. Instead, became the chairman, the deputy chairman, to the leader, the military leader, and also the Minister of Finance. We were dealt with. Our zone, Southeast, was blockaded on the land, on the sea, on the air, leading to, while we were fighting, there was no food. And Washoe came everywhere. We capitulated due to mainly starvation. The agreement of ceasing the war was signed, sealed, and delivered on the first floor of my uncle, Ben Atichukwu at Amish, with Justice Samuel Balefo, who drafted the agreement, General Philippe Fion was observing, Bernard Ojoku, the head of military intelligence, was observing. Joe Atuje was also observing. I, as the head of the 11th Division of the Army Intelligence, me standing before you, I was the head. Ojukwu appointed me as the head of the 11th Division of Military Intelligence of the Army, under Brigadier Patrick Amadi. I was also observing the agreement. After signing, this was on 13th of January 1970. The signed agreement was given to Olusegun Obasanjo, who was the commander of 10th Marine Commando, and he took it to Lagos. And all agreed on no Peter, no what? You know. And then there will be 3 R's: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and yes. But today, we all know whether there was a picture or not. Today, we have shifted from number 1 to number 3 in 1979 to 1983, when our brother, Dr. Alice Kwame, was the vice president. So we were number 2. From number 2 to when our brother
were President of Senate, were number 3. Today, we have fallen down to the average of being number 7 on the protocol list of Nigeria. Today, number 7. But I thank our Igbo men and women, young and old, standing fast with their heads high, operating everywhere with confidence. And by the grace of God, we will overcome. We go to rise again. My appeal, finally, is to emphasize what has been said before, and that is working together of our 5 governors. And unless and until our 5 governors put their heads together, irrespective of their different parties that produce them, make Igbo their number 1 and general for everyone. Unless and until the political actors, starting from them, the 5 governors and the 15 senators put heads together and deliberate with select royal fathers organize and select elders what to do to save the Igbo nation. The worst thing that will happen is psychological defeat. God forbid that the Igbos will be psychologically defeated. God forbid. Unless and until they put their heads together to find solutions of our problem, especially business people. If the 5 governors and the 15 senators and the Hanover president and the royal fathers move to the powers that be and say, this is what we want. We want a port in the east, Port Harcourt, or Alaba, or Oguta. We want a port there. Because we are traders, we import and we just be export. Unless it is done, we are not with you.
Thank you.
If this is done. Similarly, if they act together to make a demand, under no circumstances, will they be denied the request. Please, governors, senators, Ohanese, royal fathers, distinguished elders, let's work and get the governors, especially governors, together with this, all of them, to get together, to know what to do.
I think he was being so passionate about his speech, drawing lines from the pre-colonial era, the war era, and the post-war era. Please put your hands together for him. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, let me invite the man of the moment, a colony of knowledge, an outstanding star in the community of Nigerian Forum of Deputy Governors because of his power of oratory and intellectual IQ. Join me to welcome the special guest of honor, Southeast Business Summit 2025. Encouragement lawyer, His Excellency Barrister Ifeanyi Osai. Put your hands together.
Please sit down. Thank you. Your Excellency, the former governor of Enugu State, our older brother, Dr. Christine Zewan, and the chairman of the summit group, Chief Sam, our business leaders here, led by Chikasi, ACO CAF. I want to, in a special way, recognize our elder statesman, the former chairman of Police Service Commission, Chief CAF, Professor Kenny Phil, and all the dignitaries here. But in a special way, I want to recognize the delegation from Sierra Leone and from Botswana. Thank you so much. We are actually taking plenty of time, so I'll be very brief. And I welcome all of you to ENUGU. My mission here today is simple: to declare the Southeast Business and Investment Summit open. A lot has been said today, and I think we have so much work yet to do. And all the comments made here, particularly that should be taken in good faith, because it holds so much value. Because if you've done things for so long in a particular way, and we're not getting the result that we need, it is time for us to assume that the design life of the approach we have adopted, or we had adopted, has reached its end, and it's possibly time to reinvent the approach. And I like what Chief Okeke told us, and I'm particularly excited by the strategic approach deployed by Professor Kenny in speaking to us. But it's also good to recognize the effort of the organizers of this event, because today, new market opportunities have opened up for Igbo business in Sierra Leone, in Botswana. It's a no-mean achievement. Possibly, if this event did not go, those opportunities may not have come knocked on our door. So it's all not lost. But we must be able to produce for us to trade. We must be able to be inventive for us to compete. And we cannot compete and produce in a state where we are and think we can favorably compete. I listened with pain the experience shared by Chikasi of the conversations with the Chinese company for power and how it all faltered. Nigeria is facing a security challenge, no doubt. We are a difficult one. But as government, those we've asked to say, we're doing everything we can to bring the situation under control. In ENUGU, I can guarantee you, we've made critical and huge investments in security. We will also attest to the fact that the numbers of incidences are beginning to drop in a geometric proportion. But we're not there yet. But we're working hard to get there. We invested aggressively in technology. We invested aggressively in intelligence gathering. We're also taking the battle to the doorsteps of those who hurt us.
And for every single crime committed on the soil of Enugu State, we stop at nothing until the people responsible are found. We'll hunt them, we'll find them, and we'll decimate them. Some of the successes we've made are not those we are happy to discuss publicly. But the rest assured that while you sleep in Enugu, we are weak to ensure that you're protected. A lot has been said about the trajectory for us to grow. And it's important to note that we're that zone that had the first indigenous university in this country. We're also the home to Nigeria's finest University of Science and Technology, the Federal University of Technology at work, the University of Science and Technology. But in an event of this nature, I expect our institutions to be represented. And in all our acknowledgements, none of the leaders of any of these institutions or their representatives are here. It speaks to the daunting task ahead of all of us. Because Silicon Valley is what it is because of Stanford. Our schools are the homes for our research, innovations, and expansion of new ideas. And we cannot successfully achieve our aim and purpose if we have no relationship with them with respect to growth and development. And we can go on and on. There are things we can achieve while we still solve our security problems. We don't even have free and efficient movement of goods and services within Southeast. Producers in Enugu, by the time they move their goods from here to Aba or Oka, you will have made 3, 10, 20, 30 revenue checkpoints. That cannot be a zone desirous of growth. If we must expand our opportunities, if we must develop the way we project to, we must first of all work to create a common market. In Southeast, a common market that makes investment attractive to foreign investors and private capital. Because you're talking about ports, you're talking about rail. It doesn't make sense for an investor to put his or her finance to do rail from here to Soka or from here to Oka. The capital outlay is huge. There must be a market that makes it viable. So that's why you need our universities, that's why you need our best brains, that's why you need our businessmen and government. Which goes back to what our Google's told us. I'm not aware that we can raise 20 billion naira by donation. It hasn't worked anywhere in the world, and it will still not work here. There are film capital all over the world looking for attractive businesses to invest in. We must first of all curate that business, develop it, put the environment in place, ensure that we synchronize those predictables that businesses need. A businessman trying to invest in our region will be happier that the same bureaucratic bottlenecks he will face in Enugu, the same he will face in Aba, in Imo, in Abia, in Ebonyi, in Anambra, because it's going to be a common market for him. We can standardize those. We can make the ease of doing business simpler and synchronize them, make them more predictable. That way, we are guaranteeing businesses that we're working together. And they begin to look at us as a common market where it is safe to invest and you can draw back on investment. We cannot succeed the way we are dealing with the approach. It's convenient to blame governors. It's convenient to say, let's discuss with the governors. But for us to sit down with the governors, we must first of all work with our intelligentsia to develop the framework that will present before them for conversation. We must develop the business framework the strategic engagement protocol that we're asking everybody to sign into and ask our technical team to begin to ensure that they're implemented down the line. That's how it's going to work. I agree. Talk shows as this nature will not solve the problem. And either Ohanese or the business summit must raise a lobbying team for some of the things we need to make businesses attractive to investors in Southeast. We need the relationship and approval of the federal government. And we must have a lobby team that will engineer the lobby needed that we need to make those approvals come. It's not going to happen by summits as this nature. It's going to happen by talk shows or radio conversations. It has to happen behind closed doors. Persuasion, lobby, negotiation, diplomatic maneuvers. We have those in the diplomatic corps that will teach us what to do. But we must attempt to do them. I want to thank you for coming to ENUGU and finding time to have this conversation. And I also want to lend the support of our government to whatever approach both Ohanese and the Business Council decides to take in making Southeast the preferred place for investment, trade, and tourism. On behalf of our government, who will to be here, I want to declare this event open and wish you all happy celebration.
I told you he has so many things to say at any point in time. Please put your hands together for him once again. Thank you, Your Excellency. At this point, he gave the governor to move round with some of the dignitaries to finally open the exhibition pavilion. Let me let you know that the member South Development Commission, Dr. Charles Zofa, is here, who is representing Ambassador God knows in Ghana. So this is the time for formal admission.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.